Connecticut, I'm going to do a video and I'm going to donate it to Mike Proto. Who's Mike Proto? Well, I'll tell you at the end of the video. It's not Ben Proto, it's Mike Proto. Here's the video. Ready? I'm going to have you look at what I am submitting today to the federal court, which is a Hartford federal court. So I'm going to proofread this right in front of you because I don't proofread normally. Hartford Federal Court. Case 22CV0165, JAM, yesterday's date. Flynn versus Richard Blumenthal, Melendez, who just got indicted, Murphy, who committed treason, Himes, who committed treason, Schumer, who committed treason, James Ravella, who committed treason, Hearst, media, let's put media. And incidentally, the Secretary of State says that everyone in Connecticut is stupid. And the real reason is because Hearst doesn't give you the facts that you need. That is a criminal enterprise worse than CNN. And I added 37 town clerks. Judge Bizzuto, Stephanie Thomas, Judge Gary White, Judge Kavanewski, Judge Truglia, and I'm adding more. I'm up to 54 defendants at least. So the operative complaint in this case, in the federal case, was filed on August 31st. It's motion 247, okay? The judge is maintaining for a year that some other complaint is the operative complaint because he's obstructing justice. So here it is. Motion for summary judgment. I'm asking for $10 million for 1 month. And then I'm going to ask for $150 million after that. I'll give you 1 month to give me $10 million, or I'm going to ask for $150 million, and I'm going to update the writ again. And I'm going to add treasonous information that I've been collecting. So here we go. Judge Meyer is allowing 3 plaintiffs to be threatened at gunpoint. Myself, Heather, and Chris. Last week, I was threatened by the Connecticut GOP. True. Last week, the Bridgeport mayoral primary was rigged by Ganem. True. It's the same people who rigged the U.S. Senate race of 2022. Fact. This week's defendant, Menendez, was indicted a second time with 100 million in gold bars. The news said something else. I'm hearing it's 100 million in gold bars. He is the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations. Okay, Murphy is chair of Ukraine, Syria, Iran, Iraq, the Middle East, basically. So Egypt is the country that Melendez bribed and took bribes. And Egypt is the country that Murphy shook down as well, my U.S. Senator, who is chair of the Department of Homeland Security. So in America, we have open borders because of the Chris Murphy, Sandy Hook senator, FEMA mass shooting drill. And if you noticed, the leader of FEMA was just indicted on August 29th. So here we go. Murphy, Blumenthal, and others all use Hunter Biden's lobbyist from Connecticut. His name is Leiter. He owns ML Strategies. Who works for ML Strategies that works for Ben Proto? I wonder. They are all taking bribes from 5G, which is lethal. Every child in Connecticut will be infertile so they can decrease the surplus population. Every child will get cancer from smart meters. Every child would be autistic, autism, because of Connecticut. Judge Meyer is a simpleton. I asked him, now he thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist. I asked him, how fast is he moving? He thinks he's stationary. He thinks the sun revolves around him. Having a personal relationship with defendant Richard Blumenthal, I asked him for his signed confidentiality agreement between Blumenthal and Meyer, the judge in this case. I asked for his written confidential agreement. I got crickets. Crickets. You have a conflict of interest. So here we go. Let's continue. I know it's long. The judge has blocked 50 subpoenas. The judge has blocked 3 requested grand juries. The Earth is moving at 62,000 miles an hour around the sun, and in 1 year, the Earth will be in a similar spot. The galaxy is moving from the Big Bang Theory outwards, and the universe is expanding. So the judge is not stationary like he thinks. And the world may be flat, or it might as well be. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. Okay, I'm a vaccine guy. That, the COVID shot is not a vaccine. It's not an inoculation. It doesn't prevent the transfer. It doesn't build up immunity. It's a nightmare, folks. So here we go. I submitted 57,962 signatures for ballot access for the U.S. Senate race to Connecticut, and the signatures are missing. I was never placed on the ballot, which in many cases has illegal aliens placed on the ballot, placed in the voter record by the Department of Motor Vehicles, AAA, and other entities like the DUMAS, the Department of Health and Human Services. The Cathedral Corporation mailed unrequested ballots without an excuse, which violates the Connecticut Constitution. Right, and I wasn't on the ballot. Judge Bizzuto is allowing false arrest of Republican U.S. Senate candidate, me, by the Democratic Senate Majority Leader's son, Judge Truglia. Judge Truglia, his father, was DNC chair, Senate Majority Leader, and he signed my warrant for my false arrest. It was not Judge White, as I was told. Judge White never signed the warrant. It is falsifying a warrant for political reasons, just like Trump being indicted. So here we go. The pseudo marshal and the oxy-narcotic cop are telling the plaintiff that I will be destroyed. They know who my family is. They know who's in my family. They know all about my family. And it is a threat which I will not stand for. So, the gloves are coming off. Up till now, the gloves are now coming off. I have been robbed of 6 phones recently at the Stamford Superior Court and a camera for trying to view the public Edison record. That is the inter-office judge communications. There are 10 judges involved. Randolph spoke about Blowy, Clark, Kavanewski, Kremrich, Gennario, and it implicates Alford, Bright, and DiPentima in the appellate court. People who signed my petitions have been falsely arrested as many as 11 times. They are going after voters, folks. Andrew Pritchard had his house stolen, and he has no mortgage. See the link below. Andrew signed my petition, and they stole his paid-for home. They want his carbon credit patent. Interference with the federal election violates the Hatch Act. So now, this judge has done that. It violates HAVA, because when HAVA was created, Connecticut got $5.4 million, and the requirement of taking that $5.4 million was that the audit had to be performed on the elections, which it is not. The elections are void because the software can't be certified. There are many reasons. The Hobbs Act, the Administrative Act, and 20 capious writs have been denied. These are felonies. Habeas corpus has been violated many times, and it is a felony, each one. I claim that LHS, Lynn Haas Service, fraudulently programs the memory cards for the voting tabulators of all New England. Then they destroy them. They destroy the evidence. Let's put that in there. Scott Bates destroys the evidence. Gabby Rosenberg lies under oath. Read the Linda D'Alessio transcript and you will see that Gabby Rosenberg is a liar, committed perjury. Let's put that in there. Scott Bates. Perjury. It's part of the appellate brief for our second appeal, which is 46604 at the Connecticut Appellate Court, which the Democrats have 3 days to answer. It was due on August 30th, and the answer is due on September 30th. It is now September 25th. Let's go back to the document. The contracts of Connecticut with LHS are invalid because LHS didn't sign the document. A fictitious corporation did. The No Ink program is designed to change the votes in Connecticut for up to 60 days for a fee. Dominion and Diebold voting systems came from Smartmatic, which can't be certified. The votes are counted in Frankfurt, Germany. Sent to Barcelona, Spain by Seidel, and foreigners set up fake websites in foreign countries to report the votes tabulated by an algorithm and a Caesar cipher. The DHS, under U.S. Senator Chris Murphy, sorry, I have to correct the spelling, as U.S. Senate Subcommittee Chair, forced the DMV to register thousands of illegals to vote and gave poll pads the power to change the voter record so the air gap, let me show you what the air gap is. Hold on. This is the air gap. This is how the internet connects to the tabulators using AT&T and Verizon Wireless, which are defendants in Connecticut's 5G lawsuit. Okay, let's add that to the case. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go here. AT&T and Verizon are defendants for creating the hackable system. I can hack this system very simply with a thumb drive. If I put this in a tabulator, it will correct the vote to the accurate vote, and that's what I intend to do. Unfortunately, the Norwalk police block access to the tabulator, and I will explain fully what this is when I go to Columbus Magnet School to vote and insert this in the tabulator. Once inserted, it will fix everything. So, it won't change the vote unless the vote is fraudulent already. Got it? So here we go. I claim that LHS fraudulently programs the memory cards and Scott Bates destroys the evidence. Gabby Rosenberg lies under oath. They use a Serbian programmer. The elections can't be certified because the company is owned by a Chinese national. His name is Hutan Yagorizbida. It's a long one. I can spell it. Why don't I spell it for you? I'll turn that system on and I'll spell it for you. I just don't know how to spell it. Oh, why don't I put it in? Hutan YAG. Hold on. Okay, it's on page 20. Page 20, right here. YAG, HOOB, ZADEHA, ZADEHA, bought LHS on 10/20/2022, prior to the 22. Bought LHS prior to the falsified Blumenthal U.S. Senate race. He is a Chinese national. Blumenthal owns 2 Chinese malls, a Chinese radio station, a Chinese television station. He employs 300 Chinese nationals who work for him. He is a communist. He was endorsed by the Communist Party. Hutan Yagobista, whatever, paid $400 million for LHS through UBS, Stamford, Connecticut. Hutan paid $400 million to falsify the U.S. election through UBS in Stamford, Connecticut. Now, UBS is directly across the street from Jim Himes' office. I mean, directly across the street. AT&T and Verizon are defendants. Okay. There's some things I could say, but I'm not going to say it. The Department of Homeland Security, under U.S. Senator Chris Murphy, and as U.S. Senate Subcommittee Chair, he's U.S. Senate Subcommittee Chair, forced the Department of Motor Vehicles nationwide to register thousands of illegals to vote and gave poll pads the power to change the voter record. So the air gap in the following document could be. Let's go back to the document. You get a clear understanding. Air gap. The tabulator. Poll pads. Verizon. Department of Homeland Security, Foreign Influence, CTCL, CISA. The fusion centers are part of CISA. That's the state police, folks. That's Ravella. Ravella is falsifying the investigation I filed in August of 2022, and he stole my car. It's okay. It's a piece of junk. It's basically falling apart. Here we go. Connecticut hacked 20 states. That's true. Connecticut hacked Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Vermont. Flipped those votes, electoral college votes, to Biden from Trump. Connecticut did that. We have the hacks. We have all the data. And what's interesting is every city in Connecticut, every town, had votes flipped due to Tyler Technologies' open source hackable IP address. Open IP address. You can call them and change the votes with your phone. LHS changed to memory cards. Denise Merrill sent out the absentee ballots that did not contain the candidate names. There are 12 people missing from the absentee ballot, folks. 12. There is a gubernatorial candidate missing. There is a lieutenant governor missing. There are congressional candidates missing. There's a U.S. Senate candidate missing. There are all types of candidates missing. So here we go. The judge in this case is allowing the Attorney General to commit treason. Yes, the Attorney General is in charge of voter integrity, and the same town clerk that falsified the Ganem primary was paid $313,000 by Mark Zuckerberg, according to Mark Zuckerberg's tax return. Hartford received $343,000. Norwalk received $51,000 to screw me. They got paid $51,000 to screw me. So that's why I'm asking for $10 million this month. And next month I'm going to ask for $150 million when I add all the other states and give everyone the data about Pima County, Maricopa County, hacked by Gartner Group, Stamford, Connecticut. Look at all the other states. Colorado, hacked by third-party, influenced, bribed, Connecticut town clerks. This is an interesting paragraph, and then I'll let you go. Ready? What did Blumenthal do? Blumenthal front-ran Decision Sciences. Listen to my words. Which scans container ships for nukes. This is treason. Rostec, through Hunter Biden, Rostec is a Chinese defense contractor. They build everything. Rostec is a partner, and Rostec has a container ship relationship next to Cape Canaveral, which is next to our Trident subbase. And they have a container ship industry where they put nukes on the backs of truck beds. And Blumenthal is collecting bribes as the United States is extorted by the K container ship Beach Ball, North Korea bomb threat. The second biggest Al-Qaeda risk is the hydrofluoric acid oil and gas refinery next to Cape Canaveral. It's 10 miles away. If that oil and gas refinery is hit with one RPG, it will cause $4 trillion in damage, $4 trillion in damage, and 4 million deaths. Meanwhile, if the Philadelphia oil and gas refineries that are HFA using hydrofluoric acid to make gasoline from oil, that will kill 8 million people and cause 8 trillion in damage. What I'm saying is Blumenthal is front-running a national security interest for his own personal gain. He was endorsed by the Communist Party. He owns 2 malls in China. One is 562,000 square feet in Beijing. Oh, in Shanghai, excuse me. Next to Disneyland, Shanghai. And Judge Meyer thinks this is conspiracy theory. Listen to this paragraph. What did U.S. Senator Murphy do? He threatened the Ukraine president that if Biden and Ukraine was investigated on behalf of Trump, that Murphy would withdraw all Ukraine congressional support. And Biden withheld a $1 billion loan guarantee for Ukraine until the special prosecutor was fired. And he bragged about it. Murphy, Blumenthal, and Hunter Biden all used the Burisma lobbyist. That Burisma lobbyist, hold on, that Burisma lobbyist is the Connecticut 5G lobbyist. What am I saying? I'm saying when Congress gives money to Ukraine, that the lobbyist can bribe Blumenthal and Murphy through their 5G connections in Connecticut. That goes for Chuck Schumer, Gillibrand, Melendez, and everybody else. So that's bribery, personal gain, while putting the country at risk. So this is my demand for $10 million. I'm putting it in this morning at 12 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock is the Bridgeport case with Stephanie Thomas and the police chief of Bridgeport, who was angry that the video that the guy running in the primary against Ganim found and leaked showed that they were stuffing the ballot boxes. Well, by the way, Mark Zuckerberg had a contract dictating for them to get the money, they had to follow his instructions. I subpoenaed those records from 37 towns, and Judge Meyer blocked it. All 37 towns that contracted with Mark Zuckerberg, who should be under arrest a long time ago, influenced elections in America, and sent like $430 million to bribe the Democrats to falsify an election, just like the Bridgeport primary, where they stuffed ballots in drop boxes right in front of the registrar's office, 50 feet from the registrar's office, on camera. And the police chief said he's shocked that someone leaked the video. He should be in jail right now for not prosecuting this. This is the subpoena to Don Clemens, Wanda Jeter Pataki, whatever her name is, given to the town clerk 3 times. They had 30 days to answer this. The judge blocked it. He is in on it. He is complicit. He is a complicit participant in voter fraud, because the federal court should not interfere with a federal election of Blumenthal, who on the U.S. Senate Judiciary approved Judge Meyer, who's hearing this case, who has a criminal conflict of interest. Criminal act. Conflict of interest. Here it is. This subpoena is blocked. We're requesting the cast vote record required for the audit of the state of Connecticut. And it was destroyed because Scott Bates asked it to be destroyed. Gabby Rosenberg destroyed it. He's the attorney for Stephanie Thomas, who violated an oath of office, corrupted a national election, made Biden president of the United States of America, and it is treason. It is treason, and it is treason. How do I have jurisdiction? Governor Ned Lamont made an executive order, 7WW, that every petitioning candidate's signature had to be verified by the Registrar of Voters. The Bridgeport Registrar of Voters destroyed 300 of my petitioning candidate's signatures that I collected in Bridgeport, Connecticut at Captain's Cove Bar on Saturdays in the summer of 2022. So there is no chain of custody. This is treason. We're trying to enforce the law here, and we're going to court at 2 o'clock today. Be there or be square. I'm just telling you. This is going to get ugly, folks. This is going to get ugly if they want to threaten my family. I'm not going to sit back and relax. Have a great day. We need support at the courthouse today at 2 o'clock. You better be there. Greenwich is coming with 10 people, I heard. Well, we need people from Stamford, Wilton, Easton, Weston, Darien, New Canaan, every town, Westport, Milford, Hartford, New Haven, Waterbury, all the big towns. And people from Bridgeport better come out in droves. I think they will. I think they will. Because Phil Norris needs to go to jail, and they know it. Bridgeport knows the internal affairs officer of Bridgeport. There are currently 17 cops in Bridgeport under investigation. 17. They're covering up everything. And the guy who I filed an arrest warrant, a complaint, last week, I'm going to go pick up that document on my way to court. Then I'm going to go to the federal court and deposit this document. Wish me luck. Have a great day. Thanks.